the world grappled with the pandemic, North Island First Nations suddenly found themselves face to face with the possible devastation of their economy. Now, as BC pushes the restart button, are the Gwa'sala Nakwaxda'xw Nations ready for recovery? Here to talk more about that is Cyrus Singh, CEO of Kwa'sala Economic Development Corporation. Cyrus, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
The Kwa'sala Economic Development Corporation deals with creating, operating, and supporting businesses, while at the same time respecting the unique cultural values of the Gwa'sala Nakwaxda'xw people. Let's break that down a little. What does the work you do look like, and how have you helped develop the nation's economy?
Well, I think it's important. Firstly, I should mention that I'm addressing you from the unceded territories of the Kwa'sala Nation here in Port Hardy. The Gwa'sala Nakwaxda'xw were actually forcibly removed from their territories, which are in the mainland, and actually moved to the tip of the northern Vancouver Island. So I did want to mention that first. But if I'm going to boil down and speak a bit to KEDC and what it is, it's Kwa'sala. The name itself means treasure box. And really, that's what the organization was created to do. It was means to create wealth and sustainable businesses and business practices that reflect the culture and values of the nation, and realize economic self-determination for the nation and the coming generations. We have 8+ different business lines, ranging from tourism to marine transport. There's lots of activity that's happening, but ultimately we're here to support the nation's desire to realize economic self-determination. So
that creation of wealth, does that mean you create businesses or companies, or I guess what does that opportunity look like?
Yeah, that's correct. That's accurate. So really what we look at are opportunities that provide sustainable jobs and generate local economy here. And really the aim is to create that long-term funnel of opportunity for generations, right? So we want to be looking at businesses that, allow individuals to move along their career path.
Yeah, now with the lockdowns, restrictions, and of course the lack of visitors, the nation's economy was hit pretty hard. What were some of the challenges that you experienced through the pandemic?
Yeah, there was enormous challenges. I think as we look, especially with this business has 2 hotels in Port Hardy, the Kwa'lilis, which is one of the first Indigenous themed and focused and as well as owned hotels in BC, as well as the pier side. So it's been very challenging. We've seen, occupancy as low as 5%, which is unheard of, right? So it's one of those challenging times, but at the same time, in these moments, we've chosen to pivot. We've chosen to see ways that we can adjust, whether that's focusing on service excellence or changing the way we're doing things, or adding new patio like many businesses have done that are restaurants, things like that. But it's really been challenging, but at the same time, we're really hopeful, as we've seen things start to uptick with some of the restrictions that are coming down. Of course, we know more to be followed in July, but we're quite hopeful.
You mentioned pivoting. Everyone has had to change the way they do business during the pandemic, whether it's adding markers to the floor, spacing out desks, or doing, meetings over Zoom. And there's been a real benefit to some of these, like working remotely. Are there any changes you made that you'll keep or that might impact the way you do business moving forward?
Yeah, I think there was significant adaptations that we had to do with our teams. I think, for us as we're a portfolio of businesses, different businesses were better positioned to adapt to COVID. And really, because of that, it's been, we've really driven down and really focused on those business lines in order to create revenue streams that would support us while other portfolio pieces were down, such as the hotels. So because of that, actual activity, we've really focused on capacity building. We've really focused on ways that we can empower our managers, empower them through technology as well as through training, and then of course by looking at businesses and expanding businesses that weren't as heavily impacted by COVID.
Mm-hmm. We're now in step 2 of the province's restart plan, and we could see things back to normal in September. And things are already picking up, which means business will be able to return to normal too. But of course, that's not something that can happen overnight. What sort of assistance does the nation need to help the community and economy recover?
Well, really, I think it's about. I'm hopeful that British Columbians and Vancouver Islanders will journey to the North End and really begin to explore what is here, because it's amazing. It is just, when you talk about the true North or being wild, this is the wild. It's amazing. I remember when I first moved here. We're sitting on the beach, and as I looked up, you could see orcas swimming in front of me. And then I went for a drive by the river, and there's bears catching fish. This is all in the same day. So, it's a beautiful place. And so my hope is that Vancouver Islanders will visit. It really is the gateway to the north. As we look towards Haida Gwaii and as things open up, the beauty of this place is astounding.
Yeah, and with, recreational travel coming back and visitors slowly making their return, what can they expect?
Well, I think what they can expect is the hospitality that's here. With First Nations in particular in our organization, when they talk about hospitality, it's rooted in a culture. So they talk about having open arms, having an open heart, and really that warmth that comes from being here. I'm sure that there'll be some caution there, but at the same time, I'm sure people are really excited to have the road opened up.
Well, it's nice to hear how you've adapted through all of this and that you're now coming out with new ideas that will make you even better. Thanks so much for taking the time, Cyrus. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jasmine.